What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and we have a really promising news coming out from Portugal that Liverpool have opened talks with a Sporting Club de Portugal for Manuel Ugarte, the defensive midfielder. He who has a 60 million euro release clause, which is like 52 million pounds. Liverpool will play Tottenham later today, so let me know your score predictions for the Liverpool-Tottenham game. I think we absolutely need to beat Tottenham. Journalist Bruno Andrade has told the CNN Portugal that Liverpool have initiated contact with Sporting over the defensive midfielder Ugarte. So in this video we will talk in detail about what kind of player he is and what you can expect if he signs for Liverpool, and why it's important that Liverpool sign a defensive midfielder like him, because if Fabinho has another below par season, then we might have to rely on Bajcetic, who is just 18 years old, to carry Liverpool and I mean to provide Liverpool with enough quality for the title challenge, and I think that's too risky. Talks have begun over a possible deal for the 22-year-old midfielder who has spent the past 2 seasons at Sporting, and newspaper O Jogo has actually agreed with the journalist Andrade's claims, adding that Newcastle, Tottenham, Aston Villa and Leeds United are also interested, which means that Liverpool have to act fast and they have to get the deal done as soon as possible. Otherwise, other clubs will swoop in and get the player. And according to the journalist, Jurgen Klopp has been impressed by Ugarte's performances for Sporting. And when Ugarte plays 2 more games, and I think that's inevitable because at the moment he's fit and playing, then Sporting will gain 70% of the players' rights, and 30% is at Famalicão, which is a smaller Portuguese club. He has been there previously, and Sporting are willing to sell him for his full release clause, which is 53 million pounds. Sporting had a really good season in Europe overall. I think even though they went out of the Champions League, they finished in 3rd place. They dropped down to the Europa League, and I watched both games of Sporting against Juventus, and actually they outplayed Juventus for large periods in both ties, but they were so unlucky, they just couldn't finish their chances. Juventus defended heroically, and in the end they knocked Sporting out 2-1 on aggregate, but it should have been 4, 5, 6 goals for Sporting. They were that dominant. And Liverpool have been linked with many attacking midfielders, with many box-to-box midfielders, but we haven't been linked with many out-and-out hard-tackling defensive midfielders, and Ugarte is exactly that kind of player, and I think we need him because Fabinho is like 29 years old, he had a below-par season, Bajcetic is only 18. We need somebody else in that defensive midfield department so we can rotate, and Fabinho will turn 30 years old in October, and he lost a yard of space, a little bit of physicality. So Ugarte, who is a very good physical running midfielder with a lot of stamina, is exactly the kind of player that Liverpool need, in my opinion. And Ugarte has been compared to Aurelien Tchouameni, the player that Liverpool wanted to sign last summer, but he went to Real Madrid. He has been brilliant on the ball, Ugarte. He is incredibly energetic. He reads the game fantastically well. And according to Fabrizio Romano, even though Liverpool are still in love with Tchouameni as a player, Ugarte is like the next best thing for Liverpool when it comes to these type of midfielders. And according to the football metrics, Ugarte ranks among the top 1% of positional defensive midfielders outside Europe's top 5 main leagues for tackles per 90 minutes, which is 4.6 tackles, and also he's featuring among the top 3% for interceptions. He makes 2.1 interceptions per game, and also he's in the top 10% for blocks made, 1.66 blocks made per game, which is really awesome, really promising. None of Liverpool's regular first-team midfielders can match his averages for any of those statistics, which is very telling, I think. And it would definitely make Liverpool's midfield harder to play through, and that's exactly what we need, because defensively sometimes we have looked so shaky. And what is also very promising is that Ugarte features in the top 1% for pass completion rate. He completes 91.3% of his passes. So when he wins the ball back, he almost always passes it to a teammate and doesn't lose it straight away. Henderson, for example, when he wins the ball back, he loses the ball so many times after that with his bad passing, and I think Ugarte would definitely be an upgrade on Jordan Henderson for sure. And he's quite tall, 182 centimeters tall, that's 6 foot tall, and he's not an injury prone player. He played 43 games for Sporting. This season he played 38 games for Sporting last season, so that's really good. And also he already played 8 times for the Uruguay national team. He doesn't have a lot of trophies though, because Sporting only won the Portuguese League Cup last season. In the past 2 seasons they won, I think, the league title just before they signed Manuel Ugarte. And he is very young, aggressive, energetic, Jurgen Klopp style of midfielder. The main reason why Liverpool have struggled this season, one of the main reasons, is that Liverpool don't have the midfielders anymore who can play this high octane, high energy, counter-pressing, very energetic style of play that Jurgen Klopp wants to play at Liverpool. Liverpool don't have the midfielders for it. Or Fabinho has declined massively, Henderson as well. Thiago has been injured a lot, and the other players have been either injured or out of form. So Liverpool need players like Ugarte, the midfield dynamo who can run up and down all day and who has the quality as well. And in the Portuguese league, Ugarte made 12.4 tackles per 90 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. And he isn't only good at tackling, he's also good at interceptions and most defensive actions. So let me know, what do you think about Manuel Ugarte and the links saying that the newspapers saying that Liverpool are in talks to sign him? I think that's very good and very encouraging, because these are exactly the kind of midfielders that Liverpool should be looking for. For 50-55 million, we are getting a player who Liverpool could turn into a world-class midfielder. Fabinho cost, adjusted for inflation, roughly the same when we signed him from Monaco, and it completely transformed Liverpool's midfield. We went from a top 4 team to a title-winning, Champions League winning team, and Fabinho had a big part to play in that, because teams weren't getting through Liverpool's midfield as easily. Fabinho, for the past 3 or 4 years, have been one of the best, if not the best, defensive midfielders in the world, or at least in the Premier League. This season, of course, that's not the case, but the previous seasons he was one of the best. And hopefully Manuel Ugarte, after a really promising 2 years at Sporting, he can take over from Fabinho in 1, 2, 3 years if we sign him, and he could become as good as Fabinho in his prime. And David Ornstein has shared on Friday that James Milner is being courted by Brighton. James Milner's contract is expiring in the summer, and so far no agreement has been made between Liverpool and James Milner, and I'm a little bit torn between, signing Milner on a contract extension and letting him leave. We should have let him leave for a long time, but because we had such a poor midfield, I think it was good that James Milner was still at Liverpool, and it depends on how many midfielders can we sign in the summer, because if we don't have the numbers, because Arthur, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita are all leaving, if we don't have the numbers, then next season James Milner could be, a good and important backup player to have. But if we sign at least 3 midfielders plus a centre back who can maybe play right back, then I would let James Milner leave. And Brighton are preparing a move to sign James Milner as a free agent. Brighton are determined to secure the former England midfielder. Burnley are also among the suitors, but Brighton are the favourites. That's what David Ornstein is reporting. And Brighton, who have a good chance to actually finish in a European place, and after they rested 5 of their big players, Paul Merson before the game said that Brighton don't want European football, because why would they rest 5 of their big players? And then the game ended 6-0 to Brighton. Paul Merson with egg on his face, absolutely hilarious. I watched that clip on Twitter and I just couldn't believe that he said that. before Brighton has won 6-0, their biggest ever win in the Premier League, I think. And Paul Merson said that the Brighton don't want European football. I mean, that was absolutely hilarious. But back to the topic, James Milner would be a very good signing for Brighton, and also he would go to a club where he could play regularly, and his experience is very valuable. But I think if James Milner retires, he would want to come back and do some kind of coaching role in the Liverpool squad, in the Liverpool team. So not as a player, but as like an assistant manager or some type of coach, because his leadership qualities are very important in the dressing room. And according to Italian newspapers, Liverpool are willing to sell Joel Matip for 50 million euros, which is around 13 million pounds, and Jose Mourinho and AS Roma are interested in Joel Matip. I mean, Roma don't have a lot of money, so they love to sign free agents. They signed Belotti and Dybala as free agents. What a brilliant piece of business. And they signed Wijnaldum on loan. So I think for 13 million, they would love to have Joel Matip. And even though Joel Matip is a great player, sooner or later we have to sell him because he's like, 31, 32 years old. And sooner or later, we need to sign a younger centre-back like Joel Matip. I would love to see Endika come in from Frankfurt. He's a free agent, maybe not as good as Joel Matip just yet, but he still has time to improve. And I think it would suit Joel Matip if he played for in a less physical league like the Serie A. And Roma are a really good club. Jose Mourinho are improving and developing them, and they are trying to finish in the Champions League places, and they are into the semi-finals of the Europa League. So hats off to Jose Mourinho after winning the Conference League for Roma, and that was a big trophy for Roma because they haven't won a major European trophy for a long time, and also they haven't won a major trophy for a long time, Roma. So I really like this Roma project under Mourinho, and also Matip would love it, I think, if they played for them. So let me know, what do you think about Manuel Ugarte potentially coming to Liverpool? You know, Man United and Newcastle potentially could drop enough points for Liverpool to overtake one of them. I think it's more likely that Man United will drop enough points. Newcastle are just absolutely flying, and they have a much more firepower going forward, and defensively they are like even better than Man United. It's amazing with Newcastle's squad that they are going to finish probably in the top 3, top 4, whatever it may be. I think Eddie Howe has been doing an absolutely miraculous job at Newcastle, and it's frightening that they haven't even started spending 3, 4, 5 years. Just 1 year of spending, 2 transfer windows, and Newcastle could finish in the top 4 with a lot of players who were battling against relegation just last season and 2 years ago. So it's an absolutely amazing job, and if Newcastle get the recruitment right, they could get regular top 4 place. So Liverpool have to get the transfers right in the summer, otherwise we will get left behind. So let me know, what do you think will happen in the Liverpool-Tottenham game? And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a lovely Sunday. See you later. Goodbye.